Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. Victor's allies are the target of Kane's revenge in an explosive war. Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, is preparing to attack Victor Newman, Eric Braden, in Young and the Restless. Additionally, he has made public a startling list of targets that he intends to either employ as friends or as collateral damage in the titanic conflict that is set to tear Genoa City apart. As Kane launches the next round of his attack against Victor, we'll see who he sent Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, to target. Suspicions in Kane's covert meeting in Genoa City. After informing everyone else that they were stranded due to the storm, Kane slipped out of France this week. Holden is negotiating backdoor transactions for his new boss Kane, who is also his former boss Dumas, and he is in GC for a covert brief meeting. The partygoers are therefore wary. Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, Victor, and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, are among those who question what Kane is up to by detaining them at the French estate. His co-conspirator and attorney, Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan, adamantly asserts that Kane has changed. She seems to know better, though. Amanda received a text message informing her that Kane was on his way to GC and asking her to divert the visitor's attention while he worked. Additionally, his stuff involves a list of people that Kane has in mind, as well as Holden and some dubious commercial real estate dealings back in town. This encounter with Holden marks the first time he has ever seen Dumas up close. Kane then introduces himself appropriately and reveals his true name. The real story of Kane's plan and Holden's job. It turns out that after Kane fired Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, he actually had Holden fired. Everything was a component of the larger scheme. Shortly thereafter, Kane made direct contact with Holden. Since then, Holden has only feigned being unemployed, unhappy, and jobless in private. This mindset also explains why Holden feigned rage and referred to the job at Winters as a pity job when Damian promised to get him one. Since Kane had already done a fantastic job for him, he must be paying him a lot of money. Holden serves as Kane's eyes and ears in Genoa City and his covert right-hand man. And that entails a target list of individuals. Holden, however, was first occupied with purchasing a large amount of real estate in the business sector. During their meeting at Crimson Lights, Kane also revealed to Holden that he used to reside in Genoa City and that he enjoyed living there. We've already seen that Holden has done a lot of legwork for his dubious boss, and he genuinely prefers it over LA. On Young and the Restless, Mariah, Claire, Abby, Adam, and Chelsea. Kane so desires that Holden make friends with specific individuals. These are important individuals and strategic goals. However, Kane will not explain to Holden why he selected these individuals. Furthermore, Kane refuses to respond to his inquiries. Additionally, he cautions Holden to simply obey orders, not to worry, complain, or ask questions. Kane is undoubtedly paying him a high price for this. Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, Abby Newman, Melissa Ordway, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and Chelsea Lawson Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, are among the startling targets on this list. Kane is therefore quite happy and impressed to learn that Holden has already developed a close relationship with Claire. I do believe that Holden had a general interest in Claire. Because before Kane offered him this list of people to target, he was already forming friendships with her. He therefore wants Holden and Claire to become even closer, and the other options are also highly intriguing. They are all Newman or Newman nearby targets. Cassidy First is being run by Mariah. However, her connections to Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, are more important. Naturally, Claire is a Newman who works as her grandmother Nikki's right-hand lady at Chancellor Industries. Adam and Chelsea both hold senior positions at Newman Media. It goes without saying that Adam and Abby are both Newman. Cain's potential supporters or targets and the Newman connection. Cain is therefore aiming this list at those who are either Victor's children or very close to them. Since Adam is his son, Mariah is close to Nick, Abby is the Newman that no one ever considers, and Claire is Victoria Newmans, Amelia Hindley, child in Newman. She is still a Newman, though. Furthermore, we are left wondering why Cain was in GC strengthening his targets and keeping Holden occupied with forming new strategic alliances. Will these individuals be potential allies that Cain desires? Or, if they don't collaborate with Cain, will they become his targets? Of course, they won't even be aware of it at the beginning. Because no one has bound them together and Holden is coming toward them. The dilemma of the Winters family and Billy's alliance. Thus, Cain is unaware of another alliance that is being formed back in France. Jason Thompson's character Billy Abbott informs Courtney Hope's character Sally Spectra that he will volunteer to work with Cain in order to oppose Victor and reclaim Chancellor from the mustache. Depending on how things work out with Holden, Cain has a good list of potential allies or collateral damage targets. Naturally, Victor is the main objective, with Damien coming in second, in my opinion. Cain was asking Holden a lot of questions because of their developing attraction. The intriguing thing about all of this is that the Winters family doesn't like Victor because he cheated on Lily on the Chancellor deal. However, Devin Hamilton, Brighton James, and Victor were previously friends, and they both despise Cain. Thus, the Winters might support Victor. We shall see. The argument is whether the Winters would first behave like Switzerland and maintain their neutrality, or whether they would view him as the lesser of two evils. Because Lily was severely cheated on by the Newman. However, I wager that Devin and Lily will support the Newmans in their fight against Cain and Billy. Adam warns Victor when Chelsea makes a discovery. So, Cain is using Amanda and Holden as his goons to get all his cunning little ducks in a row. However, there's a catch this week. After Holden leaves, Chelsea sees Cain at Crimson Lights and is surprised to see him back in Genoa City. Chelsea becomes quite suspicious as soon as she sees Cain and they start talking. Chelsea, a former con artist, is able to recognize a scammer at a glance. She naturally rushes to inform Adam that Cain unexpectedly showed up. Adam will be rushing to alert Victor about that. Because I'm willing to wager that Adam and Chelsea will determine that Cain must be Dumas. Cain has been absent from Young and the Restless for 6 years, so they figure out that he has been a pain in Victor's side for that long. Then, when everyone else has left, there he is. Adam will do all it takes to reach France. When he arrives at the Newman rail car, exhausted and sweating, he will be a sight to behold. The repercussions, covert cameras and Victor's approach to the Young and the Restless. Of course, by then, telling him that Duma is Cain is no longer news. But the fact that Cain was back in GC and doing anything noteworthy is noteworthy. Luckily for Cain, Chelsea had already noticed Holden leaving Crimson Lights. Additionally, keep in mind that every rail vehicle has a hidden camera. Thus, Adam's arrival on the hill will be seen by Amanda or Cain. And they might give Cain some time to plan if they find out about that before they approach and confront them. Everything will blow up in Cain's face once the guests find out that he left the chateau and returned to GC. Devin and Abby have already hinted that they might be kept there as a diversion. Some have questioned whether their businesses are at jeopardy. According to teasers, Victor continues to keep one step ahead of Cain this week. Adam might be to blame for that. However, it is evident that Cain has a sophisticated plan with backup measures. The narrative might go more quickly if Victor knew Cain was in Genoa City, which would be lovely, wouldn't it? Cain's plans and Victor's possible karmic slap are exciting. Holden is currently back in town and is making progress toward these individuals on the list. I can't wait to see what Cain has in store. To be honest, when he left 6 years ago, I felt he was a jerk. I thought Cain was simply a jerk, despite the fact that Daniel Goddard was really attractive. His treatment of Lily didn't sit well with me. We'll see if they've managed to make him a more likable villain, or at the very least, a more appealing one. I've been wanting Victor to get a karmic slap because he's been acting so horribly for so long. Therefore, it may be entertaining to watch Kane do that. However, it won't be long until YNR discloses the precise rationale for the selection of this target list.